Welcome to today's special report. Live from Schwartz News, I am your host, Adnan, and today we're diving into two major players in distinct yet vital industries, Big Hot Manufacturing and Reguvar. Big Hot Manufacturing, a global leader in forestry, operates a massive plant in northern Alberta running year-round with a workforce of over 400. Known for its high production scale and a community-focused approach, it's a cornerstone in Canada's manufacturing landscape. On the other side, we have Reguvar, a trailblazer in building automation dedicated to sustainable and optimized energy solutions. Headquartered in Ottawa, Reguvar designs state-of-the-art systems that improve the efficiency of building operations, aligning with its mission to support a greener future. Both organizations bring unique strengths and challenges to the table. Big Hot Manufacturing leads with industrial efficiency and strong local ties, while Reguvar stands out for its technological edge and commitment to sustainable solutions. In our analysis, we'll evaluate these companies through Bowman and Deal's four frames: structural, human resource, political, and
symbolic,
along with a look at their environmental impact and market position. Together, these frames give us a comprehensive view of how Big Hot Manufacturing and Reguvar operate and where their strengths and potential gaps may lie. Now off to our field reporter to provide analysis on the structural frame.
Big Hot Manufacturing is characterized by a large and complex organizational structure. It is coordinated both laterally and vertically with multiple departments focusing on specific functions such as operations, safety, environment, maintenance, and HR. Simultaneously, the organization has multiple management levels stacked vertically, creating a clear chain of command. Each department consists of managers and supervisors with lead hands underneath them, while the general manager is responsible for overseeing the entire plant. This horizontal structure is important because each department needs responsibilities to be managed efficiently, while the layers allow specialization and accountability within those departments. Communication typically flows between employees and supervisors, but it can also skip levels when needed to boost efficiency, therefore adding flexibility and reducing potential delays. Daily toolbox meetings, emails, and suggestion boxes foster constant communication and organizational alignment. This structure seems to work well in a large organization with high output requirements because it maintains order and consistency, ensuring daily goals are met while having room for quick adjustments in response to changes in demand or the environment. Reguvar structure emphasizes the importance of a task-oriented frame, choosing specific processes that will lead to achieving their goals efficiently. They're all about setting clear goals, specifying tasks, creating metrics and guidelines, and more. Reguvar operates as three separate entities, which align with regional regulations. This enables Reguvar to respond flexibly to differing legal requirements while maintaining unity, supported by efficient decision-making through a collaborative framework across branches. This structure is advantageous to Reguvar, who must meet regional regulations and offers customized client services, giving each branch the opportunity to work with a little bit of freedom and independency. However, this complicates the overall organizational alignment, which is essential for success. This cross-company, decentralized framework allows for each unit to innovate and make regional-based decisions, maintaining their competitiveness and allowing for fast-flowing communication between them. Finally, Reguvar focuses on adaptability and operational effectiveness in a diverse environment. Big Hot Manufacturing's centralized structure emphasizes consistency and accountability, while Reguvar's decentralized structure allows for regional adaptability and client-focused responsiveness. Big Hot Manufacturing structure is essential for managing high output demands, while Reguvar prioritizes meeting varying legal requirements. BHM fosters open collective decision-making through daily toolbox meetings, whereas Reguvar uses project-based structures across functional units, essential for engineering projects. Both organizations strive for efficient communication, but differ in focus. BHM's approach is more operational, while Reguvar is more project-oriented. I would rate Big Hot Manufacturing structural framework an 8 out of 10 for its effective coordination and operational efficiency, while Reguvar's framework would receive a 7 out of 10 for its adaptability and responsiveness, despite challenges in maintaining overall alignment. And off to Adnan to discuss the political framework.
Now, let's take a closer look at the political frame, one of the most complex aspects of organizational analysis. The political frame examines how power dynamics, decision-making, and resource allocation play out within an organization. It's about understanding that each frame, department, or individual often has unique priorities, and sometimes those priorities clash. How a company navigates these internal interests, manages conflict, and balances resources is key to its efficiency and cohesion. Starting with Big Hot Manufacturing. This plant has a layered approach to conflict management and resource allocation. Conflicts are initially managed within departments, often by department heads, with human resources stepping in for more complex issues. In cases that require high-level intervention, the general manager collaborates with corporate HR to ensure fair, balanced decisions. A good example is the plant's approach to resource competition between departments like production and maintenance. each with its own interests, but both essential to overall operations. The general manager has the final say here, often using precedent and open discussion to find a middle ground. This decentralized but hierarchical approach brings several strengths. Open communication across levels allows issues to surface quickly, ensuring decisions are made efficiently. However, there is a potential weakness. The lack of a formalized conflict resolution process might lead to inconsistencies as managers handle issues based on personal judgment. This reliance on managerial discretion could create variability in outcomes, which may occasionally cause friction. Overall, Big Hot Manufacturing earns an 8 out of 10. Their process is robust, but slight improvements in standardizing conflict resolution could provide added stability. Now to Reguvar. Here, the political structure is more streamlined. The branch manager has direct access to the company president, which means crucial decisions, particularly in high-stakes projects, can be made with speed and clarity. This structure helps minimize bureaucratic delays, ensuring the project teams have what they need to meet tight deadlines. Conflicts, when they do arise, are typically resolved quickly due to these short communication lines. For instance, if on-site teams are under pressure to meet deadlines while engineering teams need more information, managers can intervene swiftly to balance these competing needs. However, this streamlined structure does have a drawback. With power concentrated at the top, there's a risk of bottlenecks if decision makers are overburdened. This structure might not scale easily if the company grows, potentially putting strain on senior leadership. For now though, this approach is well suited to Reguvar's client-centered, project-based model. Given its efficiency, Reguvar scores a 9 out of 10. In comparison, Reguvar's close-knit, fast-track decision-making gives it a slight edge over Big Hot Manufacturing's more decentralized approach. Both are effective within their context, but Reguvar's agility in resolving issues makes it particularly competitive in a fast-paced industry where rapid client responses are critical. Now, off to Nicole to discuss the symbolic frame.
Thank you, Adnan, for your insightful input on the political frame of these two organizations. Now, we're going to jump right into the symbolic frame analysis. So first off, Big Hot Manufacturing has built a culture centered around teamwork, loyalty, and community involvement. The company's commitment to a tight-knit community due to its isolated location plays into this symbolism, with workers feeling a unique sense of belonging and camaraderie as seen in their involvement in local community projects and donations. This atmosphere helps drive motivation, enhancing performance and reducing turnover in an otherwise isolated environment. BHM's high wages, better schedules, and positive workplace atmosphere, especially in contrast with a nearby unionized competitor, symbolize its focus on workforce well-being and job satisfaction. With that being said, the strong communal focus could also discourage diverse perspectives or external influences, potentially limiting innovation over time. This symbolic alignment with community and teamwork works, however, because it builds a supportive workplace where employees feel connected both professionally and personally, a significant motivator in a physically demanding field. Also, being consistently ranked among Canada's top 100 companies to work for reinforces BHM's image as a caring, people-centered organization. Reguvar, on the other hand, embodies values of quality, integrity, and trust, which are clear in its commitment to ethical partnerships and rigorous standards. This emphasis on ethical practices ensures that projects consistently align with their high standards. Building long-term relationships based on shared values also provides a competitive edge, encouraging client loyalty and referrals. A potential limitation, however, is that this strict ethical stance may narrow their client base, limiting rapid growth. Nonetheless, their commitment to trust and quality aligns well with the technical and ethical requirements of the automation industry, where reliability and integrity are essential for sustaining client relationships over time. After consuming all of this information, I would give Big Hot Manufacturing a rating of 9 out of 10 on their symbolic frame, and Reguvar a 7 out of 10. In terms of effectiveness, BHM effectively conveys a culture of inclusivity, belonging, and community pride. The leadership's approachability and dedication to supporting employees in their roles creates a strong, trust-based symbolic framework, with community involvement further enhancing its reputation. Contrarily, while Reguvar's symbolic frame is strong in its ethical standards and quality commitment, it lacks the same level of community engagement or collaborative symbolism as BHM. This symbolism is largely customer-centered, with less focus on internal community building or collective employee identity. This focus on ethics and trust is powerful, but may leave employees with a lesser sense of connection to a broader organizational culture. It is important to note, however, that Reguvar is by no means out of the equation for being as, if not more, organizationally effective than BHM. There are just some tweaks that can be made. For example, they can enhance internal community building efforts, increase symbolism around employee development, such as growth awards or acknowledgement for achievements. And lastly, they can engage in community initiatives to reinforce a sense of shared purpose. Now, let's hand it over to Jean to evaluate the human resource frame.
Now I'll be discussing the human resource frame for both Big Hot Manufacturing and Reguvar. Big Hot Manufacturing follows a servant leadership philosophy. Their manager focus on providing tools, training, and support to employees, fostering a team-oriented and morale-boosting environment. They offer high wages, valuable schedules, and maintaining a non-unionized workplace, which allows for flexibility and helps retain workers in a competitive and remote location. These practices have cultivated loyalty and reduced turnover rates. However, one challenge is their reliance on long-term employees, which could make adapting to industry shifts or new practices more difficult. Despite this, their emphasis on worker satisfaction and support creates a stable and committed workforce, a significant strength in the physically demanding manufacturing sector. Rigova, on the other hand, emphasizes growth and development, particularly through hiring recent university graduates and investing heavily in training them to meet company standards. Their HR strategy fosters inclusivity by allowing employees to move laterally across roles, encouraging exploration and career growth within the organization. This appeals particularly to young talent. However, the downside is the resource intensity of training, which could be lost if employees leave for competitors. Still, this strategy fosters a dynamic and adaptable workforce, which is essential in a field requiring both technical expertise and flexibility to address client needs. When comparing the two companies, both have strong HR strategy tailored to their industry. Big Hot Manufacturing excels at creating a stable, loyal workforce through high wages and servant leadership, which aligns well with their physically demanding and remote work environment. In contrast, Rigova's focus on recruiting and developing young talent positioned them as a forward-thinking organization in a technical and competitive industry. Overall, while both companies have effective HR approaches, Rigova emphasizes on adaptability and skill development, give them a slight edge in an industry where continuous innovation and client responsiveness are critical. I would score Big Hot Manufacturing an 8 out of 10, given their highly effective practices for stability and retention in their operational context. Rigova, however, scores a 9 out of 10 for its forward-looking strategy and ability to foster a dynamic workforce. Both companies excel in their unique ways, but Rigova's adaptability provides a key advantage. Thank you for your attention. I'll now pass it on to my teammate Josh, who will discuss the environmental impact.
Thank you, Jean, for that wonderful summary of the HR frame. I will now continue on to my part to speak about the industrial environmental impact of the two organizations. Regova is ahead of Big Hot Manufacturing when it comes to environmental impact, but it would be wrong to state the stats without speaking about the facts. On that note, let's take a closer look at the positive environmental contributions from both organizations. Starting with Regova, they made significant strides in sustainable building solutions and energy efficiency. Their commitment to environmental responsible construction sets them apart. They've even put many hours into developing weather predictions using artificial intelligence to optimize the energy consumption in certain buildings. On the other hand, Big Hot Manufacturing has focused its efforts on environmental control, with particular attention to air quality and waste management. They're also making notable progress in implementing sustainable practices in the forestry sector, doing this particularly through innovation in production processes, which I'll cover more going forward. Moving in on a different angle, let's take a look at the environmental challenges. Regova seems to face fewer environmental risks at the moment. Their more current concerns are on other frames, like how they'll utilize artificial intelligence, their ethical concerns, privacy, so on, so not so much in the environmental sector. But in contrast, Big Hot is grappling with the absence of unionization among its workforce, which is a growing concern compared to its competitors. The reason for this, as well as why they struggle to keep a more ideal relationship with their stakeholders, is that there are many raising questions about the environmental impact of their practices, seen as they are in the forestry sector. But moving away from the challenges and returning to end on a more positive note, let's talk about their community engagement. Both companies are active, but in different ways. Regova stays ahead of the curve by closely monitoring trends in order to maintain its leadership position in helping clients reduce greenhouse gas emissions, so talking with their customers. Big Hot, meanwhile, channels its efforts into supporting local businesses and initiatives. So ones with the customers and ones with their local organizations. Both organizations are making a broader impact beyond their own operations to benefit society and the environment. So in conclusion, I would rate Regova a 9 out of 10 for its environmental efforts, while Big Hot Manufacturing would earn a 7 out of 10. Still both wonderful scores. And now we'll be moving back to Adnan to give us the final summary and conclusion of which organization performed better.
And there you have it, folks. After expert analysis by our journalist team, we are now at a decision. We have come to the conclusion that Reguvar is the better company that operates more strongly within the 4 frames and the environmental consideration. They scored a 41, while Big Hot Manufacturing scored a 40. Both leaders in their fields, but one with the cutting edge advantage. Thank you for watching. For X Business News, I am Adnan and this is Josh.
I'm Josh.
Thank you for watching.